The Cameron Public Safety Plan. It's a 12-point proposal that he says will provide more support for law enforcement officers across the state. Daniel Cameron in Lexington Tuesday announcing his plan if he's elected governor on what he would do to support Kentucky's law enforcement.
Public safety is the first responsibility of government. When we don't have safe streets, our economy and our schools suffer. Every Kentuckian has the right to live and move freely around their community without fear.
The 12-point plan includes working with the General Assembly to pass a $5,000 recruitment and retention bonus for law enforcement.
Derogatory rhetoric, false narratives, and generational challenges have made it harder than ever for departments all across the Commonwealth to attract new officers and keep talent on the force.
The plan includes reforming the parole board by increasing the vote threshold needed before releasing criminals.
Parole boards can play an important role in the criminal justice process, but they should never become activist organizations that undermine public safety.
The plan also advocates for laws that pursue the death penalty for someone who murders a police officer, supports group violence intervention programs, and uses overdosing maps to utilize law enforcement and resources into specific areas that are known to be drug hotspots. Cameron facing pressure from fellow Republicans who voiced concerns on his potential appearance at a political rally this September. Cameron backed out of the event, and when asked on his reasoning, he instead focused on his Democratic rival.
So I think the question and the focus over the course of these next 17 weeks is going to be on Andy Beshear and how his values are inconsistent with the majority of men, women, and children of our 120 counties.
Cameron's campaign telling ABC 36 News that he now plans to do other campaign events that day in another region of the state. But the campaign says they plan to campaign in northern Kentucky often between now and November 7th. Justin Walker, ABC 36 on your side.
Talk some weather with our chief meteorologist, T.G. Shuck. Boy, a comfy evening out there. Get outside and enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, we say that. We said it last night, but if you had the opportunity, it felt really, really good, especially here in early and now heading into mid-July. The lack of humidity, the key to all this. And we've had another delightful day, and we're set up for a good evening. Our Bluegrass Pays Care Sky VHC Camera Network, Hicks and Function Cam, checking out Hamburg, east side of Lexington. We're at 85 winds, still out of the west-southwest at about 5 to 10, so we've got a nice breeze. Low to mid-80s down south, mid, and managed to sneak on the lower end of the upper 80s here in Lexington for the official high. Upper 50, low 60 dew points. We will take that all day this time of the day in July. So that will add to the comfort factor this evening. So another good one to come. Out to the west, you note the heat beginning to build, and we're going to see a little more of that into the day tomorrow. And as that return flow picks up, I think we'll start to see the humidity increase ever so slowly late tomorrow, more so tomorrow evening into the overnight. This evening, really nice, mainly in the 80s for the next few hours. A few spots will drop back into the 70s, but a great evening for outdoor dining, especially as the sun begins to set and if you're in a shady spot, because it will not be muggy at all. Looking good tomorrow morning into the mid-60s over the next 36 hours. We'll make a run at 90 tomorrow afternoon, so we'll be hot. And then by late tomorrow night into the early part of Thursday, the chances of a few scattered showers and storms ramp up, and that's pretty much going to be the drill to end the week and throughout the upcoming weekend, back into that more typical July weather pattern with muggy air sticking around a boundary to our north and a few chances of showers and storms. I'll break it down for you in your Storm Team forecast coming up in just a few.
The search continues for a person who reportedly jumped off a boat on Laurel Lake nearly a week ago. The London Laurel County Search and Rescue Squad says it's looking for a 51-year-old man who disappeared 5 days ago. The rescue crew says he was last seen swimming in the lake after jumping off a boat and then went under. His life jacket was found, but the man was nowhere to be seen. Officials have not released his name, but search crews are still in the area. We'll, of course, keep you updated on new developments. A golden alert has been issued for a Pulaski County man who deputies say has a cognitive disorder. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says Joshua Sims walked away from his home Monday morning. Deputies say the 32-year-old has a cognitive disorder that affects his impulse control and has never hurt anyone, but former caretakers do have concerns about him. Sims was last seen wearing a white cutoff t-shirt, khaki cargo shorts, and a black hat. Deputies say he may be in Louisville, but was previously seen at a Valero gas station in Rockcastle County. No photo or physical description of Sims has been shared. State leaders today announcing Hitachi plans to expand its operations in Madison County with a $153 million investment. The company is one of Kentucky's largest automotive suppliers and continues to grow the state's manufacturing and electric vehicle support industries. The investment is expected to create 167 jobs. Governor Beshear says the project will invest in the current manufacturing operation in Berea to support site improvements and renovations, including increased production lines and additional equipment. The expansion will include an additional 752,000 square feet on 62 acres and comes in response to increased market demand and growth within the EV industry. The investment will bring the company's total employment across the Harrodsburg and Berea facilities to over 2,100 workers. Well, popular restaurant in Midway is celebrating 20 years of serving customers. ABC 36's Jane Davenport takes us to Wallace Station Deli and Bakery for a look at the Commonwealth staple.
It is a beautiful day for Wallace Station's 20th birthday, and they are celebrating big today.
20 years for an independent business is a big deal, and I mean, it's just, we feel so loved in the area for sure. You know, I think any restaurant that lasts 20 years, but especially an independently owned one, it's a big thing to celebrate.
They will have an array of different games like cornhole, soccer, volleyball, and in addition, they also have face painting and a live band from 5 to 7 tonight. And of course, there will be different specials on all your favorite food. Employees have been working hard all morning, setting up decorations to celebrate the restaurant's birthday.
That was Jane Davenport reporting. Well, now to Richmond for a dedication and blessing of a new fire truck. The Richmond Fire Department in North Madison Avenue held a ceremony this afternoon for its new Engine 4. The blessing consists of washing the wheels and pushing the truck into the firehouse. The fire chief says they're in the process of replacing their older fire trucks.
I think it means progress. We're replacing older units in our fleet, and still got another one coming. We have one ordered, so we'll be sitting pretty good.
The fire chief says the newer engines will help with quicker response times, but residents should not be worried about safety. Well, still ahead, NATO plans to send Ukraine a clear, positive message on the path forward for its membership in the alliance. We'll have more from that crucial summit underway in our Nation View.
Well, it's been another delightful day on this Tuesday. Sure, it's warm. It's supposed to be this time of July, but no humidity, so that means another very pleasant evening to come. Enjoy it. Those changes not far off. I'll tell you about them in the Storm Team forecast after the break.
We're neighbors. We're farmers. We're business owners. We're moms. We're dads. We're you. We're your Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. During these challenging times, we're doing more than keeping the lights on. We're doing everything we can to keep costs competitive for you, our members. To learn more about what we're doing, go to togetherwesaveky.com.
Hi, this is Todd with Haas & Haas Properties, and we buy houses for cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call us at 859-888-2200. We can pay cash and close in as little as 10 days. We buy houses in any condition and any price range in Fayette and surrounding counties. If you own property and want to sell it fast, call us today at 859-888-2200. That's 859-888-2200.
This summer, happiness is a new Chevy. You can go farther, tow more, and bring along everyone you love. Your road to happiness begins in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT Turbomax pickups, or get $5,750 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
There's no such thing as someone else's child.
The radical left has declared war on parents, and Andy Bashir is with them. Bashir supports making it easier for children to get abortions without telling their parents. He supports allowing schools to refer children to psychological treatment without telling parents. Bashir even supports allowing school employees to secretly help children change genders without telling their parents. Andy Bashir, putting liberal politics over parents.
The Eagles present The Long Goodbye, the final tour, live in concert in Lexington. With special guest, Steely Dan. Rupp Arena, November 14th. Get tickets Friday, July 14th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. The Eagles, The Long Goodbye, the final tour. For more, visit Eagles.com.
All right, TG's here with a look at that Tuesday evening forecast, which is looking pretty good for maybe event happenings tonight. I know Big Band is Jazz. It's back in Lexington at Ecton Park tonight. Be a good night to get out.
Well, and you know, we mentioned this last evening. It's the rare occasion in July and August where we do not have any appreciable humidity at all. It was that way last night. It was fantastic, and I'm sure the patio seating at many area restaurants will be a little bit occupied, I think, because it's really going to be quite nice this evening, especially as the sun begins to go down. But it's been another great day. We've had some nice July sunshine out there. Pretty shot. A few fair weather cumulus clouds once again out down in Pulaski County from Sarah Jones. Notice here, it's kind of hard to see behind the banner. We've got that boundary off to the north, actually getting a few storms popping up well to the north of Indy, up toward West Lafayette where Purdue is, and toward Chicagoland. But we are under the influence of high pressure, so we're high and dry and looking good. Our Bluegrass Pace Care Skyview HD camera network out of the Kentucky Horse Park. Notice those fair weather cumulus clouds becoming less numerous. That's what happened last evening. We'll do it again tonight. 85 here in Lexington right now, into the mid-80s here in the Bluegrass. Got a few low to mid-80s down south. And we've mentioned those dew points a number of times so far this week because they've been so low. Upper 50s, low 60s this time of the day, in any time in July. That's a good thing. And temperatures looking pretty good. Remember, our average high is 87, and how about it? We hit right on it as expected. 87 the afternoon high after starting out at 63. So pretty close to average, but it felt much better because of the drier air and the lack of humidity. So we're kind of doing the old squeeze play here. The high will give way off to the east, and that's going to set us up for a return of some of that humidity and the moisture, but we'll squeeze in one more dry day. Tomorrow we'll start out into the mid-60s, afternoon highs, I think making a run into the upper 80s to right around 90, depending on location, and notice the lack of rainfall, so it should be another dry day. But the table will be set as that southerly flow, which will be up a bit. I think we'll see winds 10 to 15 tomorrow night heading into Thursday morning. So that's going to push that moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. Some of the bigger data, at least the major models that is, indicating complex of storms dropping down out of the Missouri River Valley. I think Friday, maybe a little less of a chance. As I mentioned at 5:30, the timing and the placement of these always a challenge, just given the setup. High pressure and control for now, but that's going to be giving way, and it's all about the setup. We've got that big bubble of heat out west and across the southern plains, and then an upper low over southern Canada. So you've got the boundary to our north. So we're right in that prime spot where we get clusters of thunderstorms developing in the central plains of Missouri River Valley, and then just kind of riding eastward along that boundary, setting off to our north. So that puts us in that prime spot for occasional rain and storms. Again, not a washout. Don't change any outdoor plans. We've talked about the lack of humidity, and you see what is on the way by tomorrow night, and especially Thursday and beyond. Yeah, there'll be breaks at times where it's a little bit less, but we're back in the muggy air, and it will feel pretty humid at times stretching all the way through the upcoming weekend, so do keep that in mind. Enjoy the break while it lasts. Nice and quiet tonight, mostly clear, 64, looking good tomorrow. Heating up, but remember that average high is 87, so we're not off the charts by any stretch, and it still won't be overly humid, so we can handle that, especially in the shade. Not an all-day rain, just bouncing around with occasional rain and storms through the upcoming weekend. That is pretty typical of July, especially mid to late July here in central and eastern Kentucky, with a little bit more in the way of scattered clouds around and some of the rain and storms. That'll have an impact on temperatures as well. Beyond tomorrow, most days through the 7-day, topping out into the mid-80s.
After the break, a high-stakes agenda is unfolding for the U.S. and fellow NATO countries. We'll have the latest from the NATO summit that's underway. Plus, we'll take you out to Keen Trace Golf Club in Nicholasville for the Barbasol Championship as we hear from local pros like Josh Teeter.
This is a real person seeking a solution to a real problem.
Hi, fine, how are you?
Welcome to the Good Feet store. How can I help?
I have plantar fasciitis. My knees hurt, my hips hurt.
Then she was personally fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I don't feel any pain anywhere. Good. Seriously, no pain in my knees, my hips, nothing. This is amazing. I don't want to take them off. It just feels like I'm in heaven. Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
When you're hurting, trying to make solid decisions, you need an advocate. You need someone who genuinely listens, understands your needs. Your advocate is Golden. Dale Golden and Laura Clay Parker have built a team who have extensive experience defending insurance companies. Now they're on your side. Having someone who knows the inside of the insurance business is golden. Your advocate is Golden. Golden Law.
ABC 36 on your side.
I've worked in Kentucky most of my life, and there's more jobs here than I've ever seen. Governor Beshear has been great for business. The magnitude of industry that's come to southern Kentucky, companies are coming in, and there's so many job opportunities. Good paying jobs at battery plants, small businesses, and industrial facilities. The wages are up because the jobs are up. He's getting things done, and that's what matters. Beshear has been great for business. I'm a Republican. I did not support Andy Beshear the first time. He's got my vote this time around.
Next ET, we're counting down to Barbie with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling.
There's no Toadie thing when it comes to Barbie.
Would they consider a sequel?
I'm not. Are you sick of me yet?
Are you kidding me? Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on ABC 36.
Let's talk Kentucky.
Weekdays at 12:30.
Following ABC 36 News at noon.
We are ABC 36 on your side.
You're watching ABC 36 News at 6 with Erica Bivens, Paxton Boyd, Chief Meteorologist T.G. Schuck, and Sports with Jeff Pecoro. ABC 36 on your side.
President Biden is in Lithuania kicking off a 2-day NATO summit. High-stakes issues facing the alliance Tuesday center on Ukraine's potential pathway to NATO membership and more global aid to Ukraine as its war with Russia continues. Laura Aguirre breaks down the day's events and also what's ahead in our Nation View.
Rival smiles and handshakes, a high-stakes agenda is unfolding for the U.S. and fellow NATO countries Tuesday. President Joe Biden met with Turkey's president hours after that country dropped its opposition to Sweden joining NATO, a move that's considered a victory for President Biden, who wants to showcase a strong, united NATO to the world.
Completing Sweden's accession to NATO is an historic step that benefits the security of all NATO allies at this critical time.
The marquee issue Tuesday, NATO membership for Ukraine. At a concert in the summit city, President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Lithuania, a former Soviet republic, for its courageous support of Ukraine's quest to join NATO. Meanwhile, NATO members have offered to streamline Ukraine's process for entry.
What allies have agreed today is a strong, united and positive message to Ukraine about enduring support, but also a positive message on the path forward for membership.
We agree on the language that we proposed, that you proposed, relative to the future of Ukraine being able to join NATO.
U.S. support for Ukraine's NATO membership and ongoing military aid are two topics sure to be discussed when President Biden meets one-on-one with Zelensky Wednesday. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, meantime, Senator Mitch McConnell chiming in today on social media, saying in part, quote, Ukraine's war will not be won with yard signs or hollow promises to hold Putin accountable. It will be won with weapons. Anyone who is truly concerned about civilian casualties in Ukraine should support giving our friends the capabilities they need to end Russia's brutal war, end quote. Well, after the break, we'll head out to Nicholasville for the Barbasol Championship. Our Forrest Tucker joins us there live with a look at all the festivities.
We are 2 sleeps away from the first round of the Barbasol Championship here at Keene Trace Golf Club. I'm Forrest Tucker, live down here in Nicholasville. And coming up after the break, I'll tell you what Josh Teeter says about maybe having a home field advantage.
Big trucks can cause big wrecks.
I'm attorney Darrell Isaacs, the Hammer. I am Kentucky's big truck lawyer. For over 30 years, we fought the big insurance companies. When they throw something like this, we throw it back and demand something like this. Now that's more like it. Want to win your big truck case? Call the Hammer.
Big truck wreck? Call 877-ALL-7s or WeWin.com.
Get 5 every time with Kentucky 5, the new daily draw game where you match 5 numbers to win. Kentucky 5, your 5 numbers could be the one.
At Rally's, I'm in the driver's seat. Give me that $5 meal deal with a Rally burger or a bacon cheddar crisp, plus sides and a drink for just $5. Or go big cheese, the Cheddar Buford. Whatever you order, own it at Rally's. Get your late night flavor fix.
It's time to replace your old tub with a new shower. But you don't want the hassle or the worry of getting it finished. You just want to pick a style and relax, knowing that it'll be wonderful when it's done. Is that too much to ask? No, actually it's not. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
I got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here. At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Get 2.49% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on 2023 Buick SUV models. Visit your Bluegrass Buick dealer today.
Explore, compare, and find your car at mancars.com. Man, what a deal.
Hello, welcome into Sports. Forrest Tucker with you from Nicholasville, where we are 2 days away from the Barbasol Championship at Keene Trace Golf Club. I'm going to step out and show you all the beauty that is Keene Trace today. The grounds are quiet now, but they were packed with golfers, including local Josh Teeter, practicing throughout the day. We're here at the clubhouse looking on to the 18th hole and then the pond, and then there is all the other sights that you'll be able to see if you come here later this week. Speaking of Josh Teeter, Danville, Kentucky's Teeter is one of the almost 160 golfers in the field chasing the Barbasol Championship title this year. Teeter is 23rd on the Korn Ferry Tour points list and is chasing his first PGA Tour win. The 44-year-old Morehead State grad has plenty of experience finishing in the top spots in the Korn Ferry Tour with 1 win, 5 runner-ups, and 1 third-place finish. But if Teeter can win this weekend, it'll be his first triumph since 2009. Here he is on if there's any home course advantage for him.
I think so, yeah. I mean, of course, you've seen a lot. Can very, very much be an advantage. It can also, I think, work the other way if the course is like in a different condition than you've ever seen it. You know, I think at this point I've played enough, and you know, Joe's working out for me, caddying, and he grew up playing here. I think we can kind of get the lay of the land pretty well.
While the pros start their week on the practice greens, others are maybe getting their start in the game of golf. Students from across Lexington came to Keene Trace today for a first tee of Greater Lexington Junior Clinic to teach them the basics of golf. Students practice driving and putting, all while having a great time taking in the sights of the course. And I think we might have found a future tour pro at this event.
It's about how the ball's accuracy goes and how it goes, and when you hit it at different ranges, and how fast the ball moves and how you hit it.
Now let's take a look at some of the top players in the field from the DP World Tour. Number 32, Julian Guerrier. He's a top-ranked player from the DP World Tour, teeing it up today here. And then there's number 40, Aaron Cockerell, as well as number 44, Marcus Hellingkild. There's some recent PGA Tour winners set to compete in Kentucky, including Cameron Champ, Chad Ramey, and Eric Van Rooyen. Kevin Streelman is also here. He finished second at Keene Trace a year ago and is back in action in just a few days. You can count on ABC 36 Sports for all of the coverage here that you need from the Barbasol Championship down at Keene Trace Golf Club. We'll be here throughout the week, and I'll be with Jordan Smith on Thursday for his weather on the go as well. Hope you tune in to everything. You can also find the regular coverage on Golf Channel, but we'll have all the highlights and all the inside information that only you can get on ABC 36 right here. I'm Forrest Tucker, live in Nicholasville. We'll send it back to the studio.
Coming up tonight, the flood emergency streets washed away in parts of the Northeast, homes collapsing into a ravine in California. The urgent manhunt in the Northeast tonight, what they've now revealed, the image tonight, and the verdict in the Aretha Franklin case, the handwritten note, what they decided next.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And every new Toyota comes with that. Like the best-selling Camry. It's got all the room and comfort you want, and you can't beat this view. Extend your summer even further in this electrified Camry Hybrid. An estimated 600 miles without stopping for gas or to recharge. During Toyota's Room with a View event, get 3.99 APR on a new Camry or 4.99 on Camry Hybrid, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance. Book your room now. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Andy Beshear backs Joe Biden's failing agenda. But what about Beshear's own far-left record? Beshear launched a partisan takeover of Kentucky schools, dissolving the entire Board of Ed, and then packing the new board with his political donors. And worse, Beshear ordered the early release of nearly 1,900 convicts. More than 800 faced new criminal charges, including kidnapping, murder, and child sex abuse. Andy Beshear, he's not looking out for us.
When someone's injured at a place of business or in a public space, that shouldn't happen. Slip and falls, falling objects, a drowning, crimes like assault, rape, and even murder. We've handled them all, and we have a team of lawyers that handle only these cases. But here's the thing, don't wait. Evidence and witnesses disappear. Time matters, size matters. Let America's largest injury firm go to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Believe in hope, in willpower, in work, in seeking, in screening, in knowing, in treating, in dedication, determination, and we're getting through this, whatever it takes, in bravery, in breakthroughs, in beating the odds. Believe in a cancer-free future for all of Kentucky. Believe in Markey.
ABC 36 Solid Blue Sports Report is brought to you by UK Federal Credit Union.
You're watching ABC 36 on your side. News at 6.
Well, before we go, there's nothing quite like a frozen, refreshing drink on a hot summer's day. And in honor of the convenience store 7-Eleven, their 96th birthday today, they're giving out free small Slurpee drinks at participating 7-Eleven, Speedway, and Stripes stores. All you have to do is show up at a participating 7-Eleven, Stripes, or Speedway location. Just ask for the small free Slurpee while supplies last. This is the 21st consecutive year for the giveaway.
Of course, I was talking about that at 3 and how when I was up in Long Island, and literally right after the 3 o'clock, talked to my daughter up there, and she's like, "Oh, we just went and got a small Slurpee." I'm like, "Way to bury me. Nice work."
Tis
Great.
the season for it.
Yeah,
except for the brain
absolutely.
freeze that comes with it, right?
Well, you just, like I said, you just got to drink it slow. It's warm, but not overly hot. Now, that's going to change a little bit tomorrow. We'll make a run toward the 90-degree mark. Kentucky Lottery scratch forecast. And then as we get into the late week, we'll start to get back into that pattern with more humidity and a few scattered storms.
Let's make some like patio plants for tonight.
Huh, definitely do it.
Make some burgers. Make Joe make some burgers.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. The flooding emergency. City streets washed away in parts of the Northeast. More storms now coming. The homes collapsing into a ravine in California. And the urgent manhunt across state lines in the Northeast. What they've now revealed tonight and the new image here. First, the stunning pictures coming in from Vermont. Water rushing through towns. Dozens of roads closed. Entire communities cut off. A train trestle collapsing. The tracks dangling over a ravine. And the extremes across the U.S. tonight. The record heat in the Southwest, from Texas to Florida too. Just a short time ago, Phoenix now hitting 110 degrees for a 12th day in a row. Janae Norman and Ginger Z in the storm zone. In California, meanwhile, at this hour, all eyes on a massive landslide, destroying or condemning at least 12 homes already. They are now worried about 16 more homes. The ground shifting. What's driving this? Matt Gutman live on the scene. The urgent manhunt right now in the Northeast across state lines for that dangerous murder suspect. Tonight, here the new image, the sheets he used to escape and what they're now looking at. The suspected killer and where they think he could be. Alex Perche reporting. President Biden on the world stage, the NATO summit, and now President Zelensky is there, furious that Ukraine is being denied NATO membership. Biden and Zelensky now set to meet tomorrow, and what the White House is saying tonight. Elizabeth Schulze is there. The Republican senator under fire tonight for what he said about white nationalists. Our Rachel Scott asking Senator Tommy Tuberville, are white nationalists racist? What he's saying now. The 4-year case involving Aretha Franklin's handwritten notes found in her couch. Do they count as her will? What a jury decided late today. The breaking headline this afternoon, Charles Manson follower Leslie Van Houten released from prison. Also just in tonight, the hours-long standoff with police at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. A couple barricaded a man seen throwing furniture from an upper floor. What we've just learned tonight. The United flight from Houston diverted to Chicago, what a business class passenger allegedly did. And America's strong tonight, the 4-year-old and the big catch. You have to see it.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. That urgent manhunt here in the Northeast across state lines, the new images tonight and what authorities are now saying. But we do begin tonight with this catastrophic flooding across the Northeast. Vermont under a state of emergency tonight, some of the worst flooding in nearly 100 years. The capital of Vermont tonight underwater, shut down most of the day, authorities fearing a nearby dam may not hold. Vermont Governor Phil Scott tonight calling the devastation, quote, historic and catastrophic. 8 inches of rain in just hours. The city still deemed not safe for public travel. A driver trapped in his car as the waters there washed it away. The Wrightsville Dam nearing capacity at this hour as the water levels continue to rise. And to the south in Ludlow, Vermont, these train tracks on an active freight line, look at this, now suspended 100 feet in the air after the earth beneath them was washed away. Tonight, a short break before more storms hit yet again. Ginger Z standing by to time this out. But first, ABC's Janae Norman from Vermont tonight.
Tonight, raging rivers. From record-breaking storms bringing new danger to millions.
Make no mistake, the devastation and flooding we're experiencing across Vermont is historic and catastrophic.
Vermont's capital city, Montpelier, inundated overnight with up to 8 inches of rain. Cars floating down streets, windows of businesses looking more like fish tanks, the water nearly as high as the city's parking meters. By noon, swift water teams ferrying well over 100 residents to dry land.
In many areas, the water conditions remain too dangerous for rescue by boat.
After the Winooski River crested at a near record 21 feet overnight, officials now watching the nearly full Wrightsville Dam. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is there.
This dam was built after floods inundated Montpelier nearly 100 years ago. Since then, they've never had to worry about it overflowing until now. And if it does, officials say there's no precedent for potential damage.
Heavy visible damage from the air from southern Vermont to New Hampshire. The ski town of Ludlow now caked in heavy mud. These train tracks, part of an active railway for freight trains, left hanging in the air after rains washed the ground away. The storm's also leaving a trail of destruction throughout New York State. In hard-hit Orange County, officials estimate the damage in the tens of millions. Military officials at West Point assessing damage to roads and bridges in the area. Some parts of the state got more than 2 months worth of rain in a single day.
And David, I got to show you this water line. It shows just how high those floodwaters rose here in downtown Montpelier. Officials have just recently lifted the emergency order banning travel in this area, but you can hear those emergency sirens, David. They are still warning many areas are still not safe, and more storms are on the way, expected Thursday through the weekend, David.
And certainly be careful while you walk there. Janae Norman leading us off from the capital of Vermont. What a scene, Janae. Thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z tracking it all again tonight. And of course, the dangerous heat, too, across several states. But first, Ginger, these floods, the pictures from Janae there in the Northeast. A short break, you told us, but then more storms coming?
Yes, I mean, Cindy Byers and her neighbor were getting new water heaters today just in time for more rain to end the week and start the weekend. So let's talk about where it's going to come from. Tonight, that same storm is damaging wind threat for Rapid City down to Omaha. By tomorrow, Chicago to St. Louis. Watch for those gusts above 70 miles per hour, easily take down trees and power lines. Then it moves Thursday night into New England and unfortunately leaves behind anywhere from 2 to even 5 inches. Can you imagine, on top of almost 500% of normal for this month already? Then we've got to talk about that heat. We have been broiling in so many parts of the country. There are 13 states on alert tonight. A place like Phoenix that, yes, has made it to its 12th day of 110 plus. People say, come on, it's summer. Phoenix does this all the time. It looks like they will go and surpass 18 days in a row, which is a record. Goes back about a century, David.
Wow, 18 days in a row, 110 or more. Ginger Z with us again. Thank you. We also continue to follow that stunning scene in California's Los Angeles County, a major landslide. At least 12 homes already destroyed or condemned, many falling, collapsing into a ravine there. They're now watching at least 16 more homes tonight. Here's our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, on the scene for us again.
Tonight, investigators searching for the cause of this catastrophic landslide near Los Angeles. Home after home crumbling into the canyon in the Rolling Hills estates. You can hear this home's foundation cracking. A slow-moving disaster that officials say can't be stopped.
The last 2 or 3 days, it's been what you might call a little dramatic. Buildings changing positions, degrees of angle, popping.
The ground started shifting Saturday, moving 20 feet in 24 hours.
Just 2 days ago, the garage here was level with the street. Now it's 16 feet down, and there is a fissure that runs through the top of this neighborhood that has taken out home after home after home.
10 homes destroyed, 12 total condemned, 16 other homes now being monitored.
As the city prepares for a disaster declaration, David, state geologists tell me that record rains this year have unleashed thousands of landslides, and it's often the biggest ones that take the longest to form, which is why there is concern of additional landslides here in the coming months. David.
Matt Gutman on the watch again tonight. Thank you, Matt. This evening, authorities are warning the public in parts of Pennsylvania and beyond that it's now day 5 of this urgent manhunt for an escaped murder suspect. Tonight, hear the new image of the sheets he used to escape and what they're now tracking, DNA, hoping to come up with a trail and where they think he could be. ABC's Alex Brachet in Warren, Pennsylvania, again tonight for us.
Tonight, the first image of the makeshift rope made out of bed sheets murder suspect Michael Burham used to break out of this Northwest Pennsylvania jail. Law enforcement confirming this photo is part of their investigation. Authorities say there have been numerous reported sightings of Burham in the last 24 hours.
From the night of?
Yeah. The manhunt now in day 5. Authorities investigating tips in 6 states, using DNA testing to see if recent burglaries and break-ins in the area are connected to Burham. The police chief here in Warren, Pennsylvania, confirming to ABC News a report first published by the Times-Observer, a local paper, that their investigation into the jail escape has found evidence of extensive amounts of preparation. He told the paper it took 60 to 90 minutes for officers to obtain footage from exterior cameras that showed Burham running through residents' yards towards the woods, giving the self-taught survivalist a head start.
We continue to find items. Those lead me to believe that there is still a likelihood that he is here.
David, tonight the reward for information leading to an arrest has more than doubled to $19,500. There are more than 200 officers now involved in this manhunt for Michael Burham. David?
Alex Brachet reporting. Thank you, Alex. Overseas tonight into President Biden on the world stage at the NATO summit in Lithuania. President Zelensky is now there too, and angry today that Ukraine is not being invited to join NATO. And now Biden and Zelensky will meet tomorrow. What the White House is saying about this tonight, ABC's Elizabeth Schulze traveling with the president in Lithuania.
Tonight, President Biden and NATO countries making it official, declaring Ukraine won't be admitted to the alliance just yet, but pledging united support in the fight against Russia.
I still think that President Putin thinks the way he succeeds is to break NATO. Not going to do that.
The 31 NATO countries writing in an official statement, we will be in a position to extend an invitation to Ukraine to join the alliance when allies agree and when conditions are met. It comes despite enormous pressure from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who earlier today called it unprecedented and absurd that NATO hasn't laid out a time frame for membership, criticizing vague wording about conditions and adding uncertainty is weakness. Zelensky arriving here in Lithuania today to make his case in person, greeted by a crowd of thousands. Declaring NATO will give Ukraine security. Ukraine will make NATO stronger. President Biden insists NATO's core value that an attack on one is an attack on all means admitting Ukraine would put the U.S. and its allies on a collision course with Vladimir Putin.
As President Biden noted, bringing Ukraine into the alliance now here in Vilnius would bring NATO into war with Russia.
So let's bring in Elizabeth Schulze with me again tonight from Vilnius, Lithuania. And Elizabeth, President Biden, of course, sitting down with President Zelensky. They'll meet tomorrow. Despite Zelensky's anger today, the White House telling you tonight their message will again be one of unity?
David, that's right. Despite President Zelensky's criticism, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan tells me that the meeting here with President Biden tomorrow is an opportunity to highlight how the U.S. is the leading partner with Ukraine in its fight against Russia, providing critical military and economic support. David.
Elizabeth Schulze reporting again tonight. Elizabeth, thank you. Meantime, back here in the U.S., and tonight the Republican senator under fire after what he said about white nationalists, calling them Americans. Our Rachel Scott pressing that senator today, Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Are white nationalists racists? What he told her, and then what he said late today.
Tonight, Senator Tommy Tuberville under fire for refusing to say whether white nationalists are racist. This is what he said in May, calling them Americans.
Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans.
Overnight, when asked to clarify, the Alabama Republican doubled down.
My opinion of a white nationalist, if somebody wants to call them white nationalists, to me is an American. It's an American.
Democrats calling his words dangerous.
This isn't a joke. This is deadly serious stuff. And for a member of the United States Senate to speculate about what white nationalism means as if it's some benign little thought experiment is deeply and terribly disturbing.
Today, I pressed the senator.
Can you explain why you continue to insist that white nationalists are American?
Listen, I'm totally against racism. And if the Democrats want to say that white nationalists are racist, I'm totally against that too.
But that's not a Democratic definition. The definition of a white nationalist is someone.
My definition.
It is the definition. The definition. The definition is that the belief that the white race is superior to all other races.
Totally out of the question.
So do you believe that white nationalists are racist?
Yes, if that's what a race is, yes.
And 2 hours later, under repeated questioning, the senator changing his tone from his comments in May, telling reporters point blank, white nationalists are racist.
White nationalists are racist.
That reversal from Senator Tuberville not only coming after he faced repeated questions from reporters here on Capitol Hill, but also after Republicans clearly distanced themselves from his comments. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell saying that white supremacy is simply unacceptable. David.
All right, Rachel Scott on the Hill. Thanks, Rachel. Now to former President Trump, and tonight his lawyers are filing a formal request for a lengthy delay in the federal trial over his handling of classified documents. His lawyers now arguing the extraordinary nature of the case means there is no reason, they say, to hurry the trial, and suggesting it could not be possible to conduct this trial before the 2024 election. The request will be an early test of Judge Aileen Cannon, who has ruled in favor of the former president in the past. We turn now to the case involving music legend Aretha Franklin, a 4-year battle, 2 sons pitted against another over Aretha Franklin's handwritten notes found in her couch. Should they be considered her will, her final wishes? What a jury in Michigan decided today, and here's ABC's Ariel Reshef now.
It was a 4-year legal battle over Aretha Franklin's handwritten notes found in her couch, documents appearing to contain how her estate should be divided. Tonight, after deliberating for just over an hour, a Michigan jury finding that those scribbled notes signed with a smiley face and dated 2014 could be considered her valid will. Initially, the family thought that she hadn't left her final wishes.
I think that it's a great thing. I think that she would be very happy and that she's proud right now that her wishes have been adhered to.
Since her death, 2 sons have been pitted against a third. What's still unclear is if notes from an earlier handwritten document in 2010 should be part of the consideration moving forward. Months after her passing, both of the documents were found by Franklin's niece in the singer's home, giving Franklin's sons equal rights to royalties. But the most recent handwritten notes will now give her youngest son and his grandchildren her home. Over her decades-long career, Franklin, known for being paid in cash, put in her purse. And late in her career, just 3 years before her death, a poignant performance at the Kennedy Center Honors, honoring Carole King.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired.
David, that quick verdict bringing this legal battle closer to resolution, but it's now up to a judge to decide whether that 2014 will should supersede the 2010 will in part or entirely. David?
The family battle, but I'm glad you played that music as well from that Kennedy Center performance. That was something. Thank you, Ariel. Tonight from California, the major headline in a notorious case, Charles Manson follower Leslie Van Houten has now been released from prison, convicted of killing 2 people back in 1969. She served a 53-year sentence. Now 73, she joined the Manson cult when she was just 19. Governor Gavin Newsom choosing not to fight an appeals court ruling granting her parole. Charles Manson died in prison back in 2017. When we come back here tonight, the remarkable images coming in from Las Vegas. The hours-long standoff at Caesar's Palace, a couple barricaded, a man seen throwing furniture from an upper floor, and you'll see it and what we've now learned tonight.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis keeps flaring, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq and left bathroom urgency behind. Check.
When UC got in my way, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when my gastro saw damage,
Rinvoq helped visibly repair the colon lining. Check. Rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastro about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean, not spreadsheets. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
There are more ways than ever for identity thieves to steal your information. LifeLock alerts you and works to fix problems with a dedicated restoration specialist. Go to lifelock.com.
We're traveling all across America, talking to people about their hearts. How's the heart?
Good.
You sure?
I think so.
How do you know? Let me show you something. Put 2 fingers right on those pads. Look at that. That's your heart.
That is pretty awesome.
With Cardio Mobile, you can take a medical-grade EKG in just 30 seconds from anywhere. Cardio Mobile is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. Cardio Mobile is now available for just $79. Order at cardia.com or Amazon.
Tonight, an hours-long standoff that lasted most of this day at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas has now come to an end. Police say it began with the report of a domestic disturbance, a man pulling a woman into a room by force, barricading them both inside. They say he then threw a chair and other items out an upper floor window right onto the pool deck below. Police say SWAT teams have gone into the room now, arresting the suspect. That woman is now safe with authorities. When we come back here tonight, the United flight out of Houston diverted to Chicago. What they say a business class passenger did on that plane.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
To Angie and typed in pool,
Water heater,
cleaners, garage,
interior painting, exterior painting.
For whatever project you need, there's an option. Oh, I have another project. Let me try this.
Get started at Angie.com today.
Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
To the index of other news tonight, an unruly passenger forcing United Airlines flight from Houston to Amsterdam to divert instead to Chicago. They say the passenger in business class reportedly becoming upset and disruptive, unruly when his meal choice was unavailable. Pilots reportedly had to dump fuel before they could land in Chicago, authorities taking the passenger right off that plane. On Capitol Hill today, PGA Tour officials defending the planned merger with Saudi-backed rival Live Golf. During today's Senate hearing, Senator Richard Blumenthal suggesting the surprise deal is all about money and that it ignores Saudi Arabia's human rights record, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, and alleged ties to 9/11. PGA Tour COO Ron Price defending the pending deal, saying that PGA Tour was left with no choice.
Which is our core mission, has been under threat for the better part of 2 years. When the Saudi-funded Live Golf Tour launched its inaugural series in 2022, the tour faced an unprecedented attack.
9/11 families attending today's hearing calling this deal a gut punch. When we come back here tonight, the 4-year-old boy and quite literally the catch of the day.
Hey, Mom, if I could talk, what would I tell you? I'd tell you I love our walks and jumping up to play. We do everything together, huh, Mom? I guess what I really want to say is thanks for giving me Cosequin all these years so I can stay right by your side.
Keep 'em moving with Cosequin Joint Health Supplements, the #1 vet recommended retail brand.
Oh, I'd also tell you some stuff about the cat.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo and taking Release. Since taking Release, my sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. I'm nonstop now. I feel way better than I did before. I don't sit down in life anymore.
From no-drill mud flaps and water-repellent seat protectors to our laser-measured floor liners, WeatherTech has everything you need. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com, the ultimate protection for your vehicle.
Crab Fest is back at Red Lobster. When you can choose your crab and one of 3 new flavors like roasted garlic butter. This is not your grandpa's Crab Fest. Unless grandpa's got flavor. Damn! Crab Fest is here for a limited time. Welcome to fun dining.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was diagnosed with AFib. The first inkling that something was wrong was I started to notice that I couldn't do things without losing my breath. I couldn't make it to the airport. Every 20 or 30 yards, I had to sit down and get my breath. Every physical exertion seemed to exhaust me. And finally, I went to the hospital where I was diagnosed with AFib. When I first noticed symptoms, which kept coming and going, I should have gone to the doctor and told him what was happening. Instead, I tried to let it pass. If you experience irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, you should talk to your doctor. AFib increases the risk of stroke about 5 times. I want my experience to help others understand the symptoms of atrial fibrillation. When it comes to your health, this is no time to wait.
Join us for a night celebrating the year's greatest athletes with a performance by Grammy and Oscar-winning artist, Her. The ESPYs live Wednesday, 8 Eastern on ABC.
Finally tonight here, the little fisherman who is definitely America Strong.
I got one.
But you got a big one. Keep going. Keep going. Reel it in.
I got a big one.
In Denmark, Maine, on Moose Pond on a hot summer day, 4-year-old West fishing for the very first time. Watch as West feels something bite. His first catch, his family cheering him on.
That's a big one. You caught a huge fish.
Wow! That's a good one.
Proud of his catch, the high fives.
High five.
And before letting go, West saying goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Tonight, his family telling us West reminds us all not to take any small moments for granted. We should all try to see life through the eyes of a child once in a while, they told us. And tonight, that family saying West is already planning to fish again.
What?
Soon fishing again. He caught the bug and the fish. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Tonight, a new war of words between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Stop! Stop!
Why Brad's being compared to a spoiled child in court docs and getting accused of looting their winery. Then, almost 5 years after Aretha Franklin's death, how her kids are battling it out over a handwritten will found under a sofa. Plus, Britney Spears ready to share her story in her own words. The tell-all details just announced.
It's an explosion.
Then, new video. Jamie Foxx back on his feet 90 days after his health crisis.
Thank you, Jamie!
Plus, E.T. and Tom Cruise shut down New York, his first stop before Mission Impossible hits theaters tomorrow.
Epic, epic.
Then,
Here we go, Mama.
a first look at Timothy Chalamet as Willy Wonka. And Ryan Gosling's shaving confession to play Ken.
Are you kidding me?
Hi, Ken.
When you're in, you go hard.
Hello and welcome everyone to Entertainment Tonight. We've got lots of news to get to. Here is tonight's